run event. They have to run 1.5 miles. They're gonna swim about 600 meters, and then they're gonna run another 1.5 miles. They just had a 10-minute waiting period that they were authorized to take. You didn't have to take the full thing. You technically could have gone as soon as you were ready. Additionally, teams are gonna step off about every minute between each other. So where we have our first place team, Team 36, representing Ranger Regiment. Beautiful morning right now. 62 degrees. They got run right into the sunrise. A team that absolutely just smoked that first event. So now I'm going to run on the trail that's going to parallel Hourglass Road. Teams are going to have approximately 1 minute between each other. First checkpoint, team 36, checkpoint 7/5. They're gonna be back here later, dropping off water cans after a 1.5 mile run. '36 really laid the hammer down on that first run. This time around, they're staying at a nice steady pace, not trying to kill themselves, understanding that Malvesti is going to be next, and Malvesti is probably going to be heavily weighted. Job 19. As we mentioned before, you didn't have to wait that full 10 minutes if you didn't want to. You could have actually skipped teams during that transition time. Nice and steady, 3-6, great work. His first run is 1.5 miles. It'll get him to the entry point over at Victory Pond. They're gonna swim 600 meters. And they're gonna do a 1.5 mile run back to Camp Rogers before they complete the Malvesti. So this is all event 2. Every event is individually weighted. Although you might have taken first place in that last event, it doesn't really matter because now it's on to the next one. Looking great, 5-6. Team 5-6 passing. Looks like they're releasing in about 1 minute increments. Here we go, 2-5. Good work. So if you're thinking about the competition right now, that first event likely weighted a 3 or a 4. We don't know though. We don't know as a competitor either. So that first event was worth it to really go hard. This event is going to absolutely destroy your arms. It's probably going to be the first time you start experiencing cramping. So this might only be weighted at 2. So as a result, like we saw that first team that was running, they were running at a very comfortable pace. They were not redlining. They weren't pushing their heart rate at all. They were just kind of going through the event. During the second 1.5 mile run, they're going to have a period where they're going to have to carry water cans, 2 water cans, which they're tracking. Each water can is about 45 pounds and crushes your grip strength prior to Malvesti. The Malvesti obstacle course is going to include 6 chin-ups, about a 60-foot rope climb, horizontal ladder, otherwise known as the monkey bar, vertical ladder, commando crawl, and 6 chin-ups. So if you've lost your grip strength at that time, tell you what, it's going to make that Malvesti very difficult. Great job, Team 11. Team 11, elbowing their ways up. Teams had an optional 10-minute rest time after the first event. You could have left that 10-minute rest time whenever you wanted. Additionally, they've been being released about a minute apart. About 600 meters, nice downhill coming up. That's going to take them into the water. They're going to do a 500-meter swim from there, come out, about a mile and a half run back, to include carrying those two 45-pound water cans. Big downhill here. It's the 8th Division Road. Nice downhill. Then you're right to Victory Pond. The far side of it. Take advantage of these downhills. Let gravity do the work. Get your breath back and run. Here what it looks like at the boat entry point. You gotta get your life vest. Got a little reflective vest over it. That way the dive team can actually observe where you are located. And now they gotta swim along these VS-17 panels. So boom, they're getting in the water. Their clock is still running. They're gonna swim around this VS-17 panel located about here. Then they're gonna have to go to the one about here. Then they're gonna have to go even further beyond that. And then they swim in to where the Ranger Wall is. And at that point they come out of the water and now they begin their 1.5 mile run back to Camp Rogers. So this part is generally boring as far as the swim portion. So I'm gonna work my way back, trying to get team numbers as we go. Here we go, 10th mountain, good work. Notice the equipment that they'll be wearing inside the water. Here we go, 7. Team 7 just showed up, passed off their vest. They gotta be clipped in before they can move out. Great job, 4-9. Team 49. Here we go, 2-7. Yep, talking to his partner, saying exactly what they're gonna do next. Always focus on the next event, the next thing. Gotta keep your mind sharp this entire time. There we go, 3-5. Mom says hi. 35 says, thanks, Mom. Here we go, 2-5. Let's go, Morello. Think about it. Sorry, that was Team 26, 25th Infantry Division. Morello took 33rd place last year, just barely missed the cut. He's hungry. Talked to him earlier. Hungry this time around. Wants to finish. Not only wants to finish, wants to be toward the top 10. Here we go, boys. Good looking, 2-1. Good looking. Team 21. Good pack right here, gentlemen. Job 2-4. Let's go 3-0. Let's go 3-9. Let's go 2-9. Good little pack right there. They're giving about 1 minute separation per team. So if you're one of those teams that was back behind them and you join that pack, you feel pretty good about yourself because you know you're at least beating them. Here we go, 2-8. Team 28. So our goal here is we're going to get the teams in the first part of the 1.5 mile run back down to the water. We'll try to link up with the teams that are in the water now as they get to their water cans. That way you can see them finish as well. Good down here, boys. Take advantage of it, 1-7. Good job, 17. 17 with a big downhill coming up. Let's go 4-6. Team 46. All right, we got a lot of teams up here. Either they change that kind of in-between time by about 30 seconds, opposed to a minute, or teams are really picking up on each other, chasing each other down. Here we go, 4-1. Big downhill, boys. Let's go 5. Let's go 6. Do I say scoop scare 7? 7, 8, 9. Here we go, team 3. Love it, 10. Looking good. Team 10 looking good. You can have your sleeves rolled up. Recommend open up the blouse just a little bit, get some air going. Here we go, 31. Team 31. Way to keep that head up. Way to keep breathing. Here we go, 3-8. Let's go, 2-2. Big downhill coming up. Take advantage of it. Here we go, boys. Let's go 1-6. Team 16. Looking good, too. Looking fresh. Let's go, big red one. First ID. Great job, gentlemen. Let's go, teammate. Looking good. And they got the monkey call going. Oh, man, that's motivation right there if I've ever seen it. Look good, 4-7. Tell them. Tell them, 4-7. Team 4-7 says they're coming. Team 4-7 says they're coming. Right now, we're working our way back on the first 1.5 miles. Here we go, 9. Let's go, team 9. Yeah, way to draft. Way to draft, 2-0. Way to draft. Good work. So there's two kind of thoughts there. You can have the first person who's faster run in front and draft. Or I'm more of a fan of the Killian Gaudet fan, which is that faster person. You get behind your teammate who's maybe just not as fast a runner, and you just push him. Just a slight push. Here we go, 3-7. Here we go, 3-3. 3-3, one of the favorite teams across the board. Looking good. Understanding the objective at hand. 1 minute at a time. It's not going to be one event. Here we go, boys. Let's go, 15. Here it is. Let's go, 4-2. Guys looking rock steady right there, 4-3. Big up, downhill coming. Big downhill. Let's go. Yeah. So thought is, if you know you're stronger, cardiovascular fitness wise, and it's not going to destroy your body, just get behind your partner, give them a slight push. If they're okay with that, and you guys have worked it and practiced it, it can go a long ways for time. Here we go, team one. Here we go, 3-2. 3-2. Sorry, Major Echeverria. Nice run. Fernando. A lot of fans. A lot of fans out there in the interwebs. Looking good, boys. Look at that smile on the face, 5-4. Man, team 5-4 smiling. Cheese it. Love it. You actually enjoy your moment. It's great. Good job, 5-7. Good last little hill right here, 3-4. Come on. Team 34. Walter Payton. Love it. Here we go, 40. Team 40. Leroy Jenkins. We got some Gators. Love it. Looking great. There we go, 12. There we go, 18. Love it, boys. Looking great pace there, 5-5. There we go, 50. All right, so the first team that started is currently still on the clock. They're at 21 minutes and 40 seconds. Assumption is that swim's just gonna be a little bit longer. Very calm waters today. But it's a slog. You're wearing that vest. You already got 9 miles in your body. Crush it. Here we go, 44. Like it, good pace. So that swim is the first time you might start feeling cramping, depending on the kick. If you're gonna do like a flutter kick, or maybe a strong side stroke, that can slow you down in the water a lot. Big fan of the elementary backstroke. There we go, 5-2. Dave Fluter would tell me no. He would say you need to breaststroke for days, but we still got to have this race to determine, is it faster to breaststroke or is it faster to elementary backstroke? I'm a huge fan of elementary backstroke for the fact that your head is in the water, you're breathing the entire time, and you have a nice glide about every 5 seconds during your strokes part. So you're not just doing all the work on a side stroke, or maybe what a breaststroke would do. Here we go, 4-8. Notice this trail, nice gravel road. Feels much better in your body than that hard pavement you just ran on for the last 6.5 miles. Good to kind of get that break in your body. One event at a time, 4-5. Let's go, baby. Team 4-5. Motivated, excited, getting water. It's great. One thing you might have noticed, Team 36, they're already eating. So they had food. Everybody was authorized, MREs, and they were already given and issued. And they decided to put some snacks inside of the CamelBaks. It's brilliant. You need to restore that glycogen loss, help fuel your body. Can't just do this event purely on water. You will go down. There we go on the live stream. Let's go. There we go. Team, how we doing? Where's this water can drop off? Tell us all about it, sorry. Okay.
So when they get done with the swim, they're going to be going on onto this road right here.
Yep.
And it's about an 800-meter movement.
800 meter.
Yep. Each team member is going to carry one water jug, and they'll bring it over to my location. Once they drop off their water can, they'll head back to the start point, and I'll just inspect the water can, make sure they didn't dump any water.
What does that do to their grip strength as far as you're carrying something like that uphill 800 meters? What's going to happen to your body if you're carrying it by the handle?
So them carrying that by the handle, they don't have to carry it by the handle specifically. They can throw it over their shoulder. They can utilize whatever they have on them as a person, anything around them, to make that a little bit easier. But it's going to
Go 5-3.
If they do carry it at a low carry, that's going to go ahead and affect their forearm. So it's going to affect their grip strength. And throughout the rest of BRC, they could have issues because all the other events,
right,
they may have to kind of sustain that grip strength. They throw it over their shoulders, it's going to be a higher carry, probably a little bit easier, but now they're just going to be putting more weight on their back.
How would you do the carry, knowing that you have Malvesti coming next and you're going to have to use your forearms a lot for a lot of events?
If I was going to be doing the carry, I'd probably find a stick nearby or take off my belt, throw both the water cans on there, and me and my partner carry both the water cans together.
Would you have any issues if you saw a team having like a log in between them or something?
I would not.
Why not?
Because that's them thinking outside the box, utilizing what they have around them to make the process a little bit easier to actually go on. This is not a sprint. This is something that's going to go on for 3 days, putting tons of miles on their feet. So anything they can do to make their days go by a little bit easier, there's no issue.
So they're smart rangers. They use their environment, like the actual earth.
Yep. So if they picked up a stick off the ground, decided to throw that on both their backs, have the water cans in the middle and run with it, we're okay with it.
Yeah, it's great feedback. I remember last year, it seemed like a lot of teams got really crushed by this. Maybe not in this part, but once they got to Malvesti, you saw them falling off the rope, falling off the horizontal ladders, and the last set of chin-ups they couldn't do.
Yeah, because them not being a smart ranger, like you said, going to Malvesti next, then a PT test afterwards, they're gonna have to sustain. They're gonna have to find a way to have better grip strength, especially because it's an ACFT. They're going to have to do deadlifts. They're going to have to do sprint drag carries. They're going to have to, like you said, climb ropes, do monkey bars, and all that type of stuff. So a lot of grip strength stuff is happening right after this. So,
when I'm dropping off my water cans, what are some things you're looking for as far as ensuring it's not manipulated or water hasn't been dumped? So, what are you trying to eye?
What we did is we put some Ziploc bags underneath before we tighten it down. So if we see that the Ziploc bag has been somewhat moved or the weight's a little bit less, I'll open it up, just inspect. As long as the water is still somewhat towards the top, they're going to be fine. But if you can pick it up and you can tell that this is significantly lighter, then I'm going to go deeper into the inspection to make sure that they didn't dump anything out.
So say I tell you, well, hey, sorry, I tripped and then like the water can broke and like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. What do you tell me as a competitor? Are you just taking my team number down, calling over the radio, like, hey, team 59, you have no water in your can, and then let them decide what they're going to do with that?
Yeah, there's no way them just tripping and fall is going to break one of those water cans.
Right.
And all the water cans that we had, we inspected beforehand and everything like that. The only way that the water is coming out is if they dump it.
So it's spirit of the rule, spirit of the competition at that point. Like, the point is you're going to have that water can full the whole time.
And if they have an excuse or something like that, I'm just going to tell them, keep moving on. I'm not going to stop them right there.
Right.
Anything like that. I'm just going to inspect their stuff, send it up to the PI of the event, let them know there's water missing from their jugs. And then from there, he'll make an assessment.
It's a great event.
So
love it. Thanks so much for the insight. We appreciate it. Thank you, gentlemen, for helping out as well. So where we are located right here, it's an 800-meter run to where they start the water can pickup. When they pick up the water cans, they're each going to be issued one water can as a person, right? So everybody team is going to have a total of 2 water cans. So you can carry it with your hands. You can carry it over your back, as you heard there. If you're able to frickin' find a stick or like a tree that's light enough that you can put between your two bodies and hang it without that stick breaking, that's a possibility too. The only reason you'd want to do that is really to save your forearms and your grip strength, because you're going to need it for the Malvesti. Malvesti is going to be the next event that Blaine Reeves is going to be having the other live stream. And what happens there is you're going to have about 7 obstacles. You each get 2 attempts at the obstacles. But for every time you fail an obstacle, you have 2 to 3 minutes that are going to be added to your overall time. So obviously Malvesti, the whole mantra in your head is clean. I want to do the Malvesti clean. I want to have no mistakes, no issues. You can even wait a minute and a half before going on the horizontal ladders, otherwise known as the monkey bars, just to make sure that you're recovered before you go on it. Because if you're clean, you can save that 2 or 3 minute penalty just by doing that the event. You're probably going to be top 15 teams on that one individual event. So name of the game there, clean. You don't have to be crazy speed, especially if you're making mistakes like falling off the monkey bars or falling off the rope. So we're at 30 minutes and 50 seconds. Now look at the difference here. That first event was 6.5 miles, and we had teams at a 6:30 pace for the first 3 miles, and they were carrying a 25-pound plate carrier, right? Here we are, we just did a 1.5 mile run. They're probably still swimming approximately 500, 600 meters. And we're at 31 minutes and 15 seconds. And we still haven't even seen them at about the 2.5 mile point on this event. So it really goes to show you that, one, most teams have probably slowed their pace down just to get a good rate of perceived exertion or a heart rate zone that isn't absolutely destroying them, that enables them to run like a marathon. But then also, it ensures that they're prepared. It tells you that the swimming portion is just that slow and that big of a slog. Notice right now, we're going down a pretty big decline. And with this decline, it's exactly what they have to go up when they do their water can carries. As we learn, those water cans better be full at the inspection site. It's going to be a quick inspection site by the ranger instructor just to confirm that they have that water about the top level. Teams that maybe dump water or try to get away with that, they're immediately going to be called up to the ranger instructors in the headquarters, and they'll probably get a last place time just for the fact that they didn't have their water fully in. So right now we're working our way back towards the first competitors. First competitor is not, oh, here we go. Perfect. Look at that. Just on time. It's like we queued it. So we're at 32 minutes and 40 seconds. They've picked up their water cans approximately 600 meters away from I am. They are now huffing it up this nasty gravel hill. This is not fun. They each have a water can. It looks like the teams up front are just going to put it over their shoulder, switch hand by hand, and do a carry. Once again, remember, it can pretty badly affect your grip strength. Way to grind. Keep going, 3-6. Keep grinding. So at this point in the competition, they are soaking wet from that victory pond swim. So think about any kind of chafing. Waterlogged boots are soaking. As you can see, the competitors are wearing here. Great support by the Nike boot. The Nike boot is probably one of the best boots, especially for a competition or even an event like this, for the fact that the time it takes to dry, the prior time they're doing the 2 mile Army Combat Fitness test, these soaking wet boots are ordering to dry. On top of it, because of moving 60 miles over the next 2.5 days, you're going to want a lighter boot to make sure that you can continue to move at that fast pace you want to go at. 36 obviously being our winners of the mass start run, move very quickly. And I'll tell you what, it's not all the Nike boot, but that's a big help. Clearly their foundational fitness put them in this position, but then that equipment they use properly, has been supported by with Nike is a huge help. Look at it. Look at that Nike boot. Love it. Great top right there. Both realize they're going uphill.
maybe a little bit slower. So hey, let's take the second just to walk. Let's get our breath under us. Let's get to the general flat. And once we're there, then we can think about ripping on the shirt. This water can carry a total of 800 meters. Get on with the rain. Here he comes. You can see it. You can see the end in sight. You can go see water cans. They have the Ziploc bag. Ground the water cans right in front of me. Ground the water cans right in front of me. Drop the water can. Inspecting, making sure that it's appropriate. And then moving on. So we're now in the tail of Team 36. Team 36 won the first event. They did not start this event in second, just because they took their full 10 minutes of break, but they already picked it back up and gained all the time for the team that went in front of them. Team 36 is approximately half mile out for making it back to Camp Rogers, where they started the day. Just starting to drizzle a little bit. It's going to make that rope wet. And there's another key thing, too. Because they are soaking wet, they're going to be the first ones to get on the rope like a Malvesti. That rope is going to be completely dry for them. Probably the first 12 teams. There comes a point, though, that rope gets so saturated with every competitor before you, it's going to make it more difficult to strong arm that rope. You really got to know how to do your rope lock and your climbs and properly use your legs. Nice downhill right here. A little bit of saddle. It's not going into the puddle. Interesting technique. Makes sense. It's probably going to make feed more wet. 40 years ago. 39 minutes, exactly. That's the Hourglass Road. Perhaps over the freeway. Finish line is in sight. Events are no longer start at the same time. So they're on their own clock. We're at 40 minutes after the first team left. So they're probably at 39, 30 for their overall time. Team 36 is the first team back from the second event, which is the run, swim, run. Time's going to stop as soon as they cross the cones. Who we have behind them? But team 56. Team 56 right behind them. So we're at 41 minutes overall time. Like I said, that was for the very first team that went. So that overall time is going to be different for every team because they started between 30 seconds to a minute after one another in kind of a waterfall. So right now the clock I have at 41:20 will be for the very first team that stepped off. So I believe this team right here. Great job, 23. Doing Michael Jordan proud. Team 2-3 come to the finish line for the one run, swim, run. So we have 3 teams now that have finished the run, swim, run. What's next on the docket is the Malvesti. So if you know when your team's just finished, you can jump over to the Malvesti live feed. It's going to approximately start in 1 minute. The Malvesti live feed this year, we have the honor of having one of the winners from 1993, Blaine Reeves, who will be the color commentator over there, and he'll be running all of Malvesti today with the different teams. Our goal today throughout the live streams is try to get about 35 to 40 teams per event, and then we are leapfrogging each other. So at certain times during the day, you're going to have 3 live streams going at any one time, showing you the vast of this competition as far as the depth and width of it is across the board. You might have a team that's still finishing up event 2. Meanwhile, you have the top teams or faster teams finishing up event number 4, right? So it's a wild competition in that sense. After the first event, you really don't know where you're located in the pack. And then standings are published on the Airborne Ranger Training Brigade page whenever they do finish numbers and put them out. So likely, I'm guessing around this time, they should be publishing the first set of standings post the mass start run. If it hasn't already posted, guarantee you probably in the next 5 minutes. There's a slight drizzle. Temperature still about 62 degrees. Much better weather than we had in the Masters. Chill. There we go, Morello. Get that hunger. Burn the ships. Remember what it felt like last year and continue to crush it today, right? Let's go, 2-6. What does represent 25th ID? Malvesti clean is your mantra. Malvesti clean. Clean. Morello was a former competitor last year. Finished in 33rd place. Did not make the cut into day 2. That is a frustrating feeling, especially when you've done all your work and preparation. So sometimes when teams like that come back, they got the heart of the tiger and they're good to go. Here we go, 2-5. Love it. Love it, 2-5. You get that eye of the tiger, heart of the tiger, and then you really pick it up because you know what to expect this time around. You know how to control your pace, and you just perform better overall.
Let's get a little tripod action going. Try to get you the team numbers as they're coming by. Looking great, 1-9. Great job. Team 19. Oh man, they're running so fast. The wind blew me by. Holy crapola. So this point as a competitor, you're kind of, if you're like that, you're kind of by yourself. You're not really sure if you're doing well in this individual event, right? You don't know if you absolutely are crushing it. You don't know if you're doing poorly. So a lot of these kinds of events, you're running based on feel. The feel there is, am I good enough right now, do we think, to push it? Or do we coast? Do we get our heart rates down, get our rate of perceived exertion down before we hammer maybe a more heavy-weighted event? So if you know the Malvesti obstacle course is next, which is probably going to be weighted 3 or 4, we don't know. Assume it though, because it is very consistent across the board. Then maybe you just go a little bit easier on this one, bring your heart rate down. That way you can absolutely smash Malvesti. And a reminder for that mantra for the Malvesti is you want to complete it clean. You want to have no errors. You just want to be nice and smooth. That alone is going to put you in top 15 place for that individual event, which is relatively weighted pretty heavily. Great job, boys. Here we go, 7. Think about that next event. Next event, right? Team 7 had their belts off. That's a great indicator they probably tried to use their belt in some form or fashion. Hey, if you know you're going to compete, when you do events like this, you should be practicing and training with anything, right? Try materials. Try to use a log or a stick, a belt, whatever it is. You're not going to know unless you try it. Here we go, boys. Here we go, 4-9er. Team 49 looking at, and they just checked their flow. Love it. Love to see it. Hair was looking good. Look good, feel good. That's not a joke there. Malvesti and Derby are absolutely some prime time. Overall on the clock for this event, we're at 47 minutes. A reminder, if your team was about in the 15th or 16th place team that started this event, it's about 35 or 30 seconds to a minute in between each individual team. So we're not going to know their actual placing on this event, not until they publish the standards on the Airborne Ranger Training Brigade when they'll actually put, hey, this many teams have completed the swim, run, swim, and now we can give you our placings. After the swim, run, swim aggregate, here's all the different placings in that. So one great thing, if you're watching from home, we know based off of the live stream exactly what place every team took, first place to 56 on the mass start run. So that's very simple to understand what placing they're in. But after the swim, run, swim, this event right here, the run, swim, run, this event right here, you're going to see teams jump all around. It's going to be very scattered because you might have teams who perform pretty decently on the mass start run, but then like really took it easy on this event. So they'll drop from like 15th place down to 35th because they took it easy, right? But once again, that 35th place team, they crushed the Malvesti, they jump right back up to 15th. So these first couple events are going to be very sporadic on the standings. Standings can change up and down nonstop. But what you are going to see is that day 1 is the most important day of all the days of this competition. Why is that? Well, if you have 56 teams that are competing for points, and let's say we have an event like today that's weighted 1, first place team gets 56, second place team gets 55, third place team gets 54. Now let's say you have an event that's weighted 10 to make it easy for me on math. 56th place team is only going to get 10 points. First place team is going to get 560 points, right? So in that one event, theoretical event, your first place team at 560, your last place team at 10 points, you now have a 550 point gap that you just created. So that's why day 1 is so important because you have 56 team always vying for points. You might have teams that are a little bit lower on the tier threshold, and then what they're going to do is they're going to be able to steal points because they're a really great shooter, or they're outstanding on the urban assault course because it's all about speed. But the teams that are always going to be towards the top are constantly performing at a level that is between the 15th to first place area. They may not be taking first place every time, but because they're consistently towards the top, that puts them in those top 3, top 5 positions throughout the day. All right, got some more competitors here. Finish line just up ahead, boys. Great work. Let's go, 11. Love it, Snake Eyes. 11 looking very strong, looking good. Here we're going to see teams start to smatter in. As a reminder, if you know your love team has already made it past me in the run, swim, run event number 2, go ahead, switch over to the live stream for the Malvesti. Malvesti is going to have your team. I can already see teams going right now or getting ready to go. And then you can check out your favorite team, your loved ones over there. Rain's picking up as we speak right now. Great job, boys. Here we go, 2-7. Looking outstanding. Good breathing. Malvesti next, right? Think about it. Change your mindset here, boys. It's our live stream crew helping out, doing a great job. They did an outstanding job getting the Mass Start Run event recorded. We haven't had that event live stream, I think, for probably about 5 or 6 years. So it was awesome to actually get out there. And although spotty at certain points because of the network, makes sense. You're out here in the middle of Fort Benning. Outstanding work by the Gator team to get out there and get to see all 56 teams grind through that 6.5 mile run with a 25-pound weighted vest. And they had to carry that 60-pound sandbag, an additional 3.25 miles. Brutal. You have to be truly locked in and prepared for this competition. You want to compete. Here we go, boys. What do you think? 3-5. How we feeling? Next event. Next event. It's our mindset, right? 35. Looking good. So this is my point. Maybe this team right behind 35 knows they're catching up on them. You know that you're relatively doing well, right? Like you at least passed one team in your mind, especially if you start a minute to a minute and a half behind them. Great job, boys. Here we go, 14. 14 locking that Malvesti next. Get to that finish line. Think about Malvesti. Switch it. You also can't get mentally lazy in this competition. You have to think about once you finish the next event to the next one. Say you made a mistake. You fall off the monkey bars. You fall off the rope. Something silly happens. You drop a water can, whatever. You have to have a very short memory. You have to forget about the mistake. You and your partner are both going to make mistakes throughout the competition. You're best, though, when you guys are lifting each other up, carrying each other, and that's when you're performing at your high standards. All right, we got a great pack here. So this actually is a good time, I think. If I know I'm a little bit faster, that we're going to try to beat them. Here we go, 2-4. 1, 2, 3. We have 4 teams right here. So 4 teams in the event. Oh, you got a runner. You got a runner. We have a runner. We have a runner running. Okay. He's waving them off. Okay, that's interesting. Here we go, boys. Let's go, Team 10. Let's go, 3-8. Let's go, 3-9. Let's go, 2-9. Think about Malvesti next. 1, 2, 3, 4 teams right there. Man, that's crazy. Like that's similar to when we saw them at the 1.5 mile point too. They were all kind of near each other. Here we go, boys. Let's go 1-7. Let's go Team 5. 17 and then Team 5. Once again, it's by event. So just because they might be passing each other doesn't mean they're necessarily beating them. See, I started 3 minutes ahead of you, and now we're finishing together. Well, guess what? You're obviously 3 minutes faster than me, right? And that's the thing about this. They don't know everybody else's time. So you're just kind of going at a pace that you think is appropriate for your body, for you and your partner. Here we go, 21. Great job. Malvesti next, boys. Lock it in. All right. We'll start getting more packs of people here coming, more teams. Great job, Team 6. Here we go, 4-7. Love to see the shock. That's what I'm talking about. For those of you who've been to Hawaii, know all about the shock. I hang loose, baby. A lot of good attitudes today. I think the weather's helping that it's so cool. It's like 62 degrees. Humidity's still at about 92%, which is wildly saturated. Here we go, 4-1. Good job, Team 3. Air is very saturated. They are going to be soaking wet because they have to do Malvesti. Malvesti, you have to do the mud crawl. Mud crawl is going to make you continue to keep you wet. But then you do have a free transition period. You're going to walk a mile on the Darby Mile to Todd Field. So that's not timed. So you can go as slow or as fast as you want to. You can administratively skip other teams. The reason you would do that is so you can get to the foot march sooner, the foot march rest hold. So if you get 5 hours of rest before the foot march, that's a big win. Here we go, boys. Great job, 1-6. Looking good. Team 16. The more rest time you have before the night foot march is generally between 15 to 20 miles, the better. The teams that happen to only get 30 minutes before they step off, I'll tell you what, it is demoralizing. It is physically hard to do as well because you just never got that time to rest and recover. Great job, 2-8. Team 2-8. Looking good, too. Finish line the Malvesti, baby. Finish line the Malvesti. Team 28, Team 2. So sometimes you'll get charged up by your coaches or your friends and family that are present, and they're going to tell you, like, pick it up, finish hard. And when that can mess you up is it can change your rate of perceived exertion or your heart rate, because maybe you're at a steady state, you're just doing a constant 9-minute mile pace, you're feeling comfortable. But when you see family, friends, and you pick it up and you go all out, now your heart rate's really elevated, right? You only have 2 minutes to separate to go to the next event. And guess what? Now you're too charged up before you go. So sometimes it's worth it just to coast, especially before you go to the next event. Great job, 8. Next event, Malvesti. Here we go. Team 8. I just seen by this point, not many teams have been sprinting hard, right? They're just kind of coasting, taking it easy, because a lot of them are thinking the same thing. We want to do the Malvesti clean. As mentioned before, the first 12 teams or so, they're going to have a relatively dry rope, but teams 13 through beyond that, that rope is going to be soaking wet, which is going to make it that much harder to climb, especially if you don't have the best technique. Highly recommend the lock technique, which is primarily using your legs and your feet, opposed to depending on your forearms, thighs, and tries. Here we go, 30. 30 looking good. Okay. Got a good stride about them. They're one of the faster teams we've seen run across there. So what do we got next? So we got the Malvesti obstacle course next. They have an administrative 1 mile walk from Malvesti to Todd Field on the Derby Mile. There's no time on that. You could technically skip teams, right? You could get ahead of them in order to shorten your rest time or make your rest time longer by the end of the day. They go right into the Army Combat Fitness Test. That's our new test in the Army, which we started about 3 years ago. That includes a 3-rep maximum deadlift of 240 pounds, a standing power throw of a 10-pound medicine ball of 9.3 meters, hand release push-ups of 37, sprint drag carry time of 1:54, plank for 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and then a 2-mile run time of 16 minutes and 57 seconds. Good job, boys. That's right, 4-6. Say it. Go Red Bulls. Unit lineage right there, baby. Somebody proud not of one of the Ranger history, but of the unit as well. Here we go, boys. Let's go 3-1. 3-1, grinding through it. So from here, I'm probably going to do about 8 more teams. And then I'm actually going to drive over to Selby Cactus in preparation for the Fries and Urban Assault course. Additionally, obviously, live streaming this long drains our battery down to about 50%. So we'll get battery life back up, and it'll be ready to rock when we get over to Selby Cactus Urban Assault course. So we get this big pack here coming up. Maybe 1 or 2 teams after that, just so you know where your teams are, and then we'll move out. Let's go 4-2. Great pace. Team 42 just passed. Yeah, team. Here we go. Big red 1. Way to represent. Let's go 1. Fuck, first cap. Dang it. My bad. Shit. Let's go 3-4. Good work. Job 3-7. Let's go 3-3. Team 33, Team 32 are some of the fan favorites throughout the comp. You're going to see interesting how like some teams might be in 30th place after this event, but by the time we get to the ranges, they're going to jump all the way up to 5th place. Just because you're kind of towards like the middle or lower tier of this first 2 events does not mean you still can't win. You still can't perform toward the top. Good job, boys. Get that breathe in. Love it. 54. Here we go. Good job, 5-4. This is what we talked about before with our partners. Do we push them? Do we draft? Do we let them draft behind us? Do we just get ahead of them? Here we go, 9er. Job 9. you train up like that too, right? You want to make sure that you're training in a way that you and your partner know if there's a point where I'm maybe slacking, you can push me. Or maybe I'm comfortable with you running ahead of me 15 meters. That way it forces me to catch up to you. I don't know. You have to test it. You have to trial it. You have to see what works for you and your partner. All right, we'll do a couple more teams here at the end of the run, swim, run event. After we do our end of our run, swim, run, I'll tell you to shoot over to the Malvesti live stream. And then from there, the Army Combat Fitness Test, the ACF team live stream. ACF this year, just like last year, you have to complete each event at an 80% threshold if you're a male of age 17 to 21, regardless of your gender or what age you are. Here we go, 22. Let's go, twos. With that, Army Combat Fitness Test, very similar to Malvesti. Your mantra to yourself is clean. We want to do every single rep clean because you only get one opportunity to throw the medicine ball. You only get one opportunity to deadlift, one opportunity to do your hand release push-ups. If you make any mistakes or you fail that event, it's 2 minutes added to your overall 2-mile time. So if you can go clean, then really the winner of that event is going to be who runs that 2 mile fastest. Good breathing. Well done, 15. Team 15. That was team 15. We'll do one more team here. We'll go with them to the finish line. And then we'll wrap it up on this live stream for the Run Swim Run event, event number 2. That way we can charge up our batteries and head over to Selby Cactus in preparation for the FRIES insertion or the fast rope insertion extraction system over at Selby Cactus and in preparation for the Urban Salt course. Otherwise, if your favorite team's already passed, push over to the Malvesti stream, which is next event. And then after that, the Combat Fitness Test. Good job, 40. Yep, get that heart rate right. Get your mindset right. Malvesti clean is what you're thinking about now. Team 4-0. I cannot overemphasize enough the importance of the Malvesti and doing that Malvesti clean. Good job, 4-0. Team 4-0 going right to the finish line. All right, that's team 40. All right, team. So we're going to close out the run, swim, run event. I think there's about 15 teams left on the course. Only reason just so we can jump ahead to Selby Cactus, get some battery life in the live stream. Thanks for all showing up on this one. Jump over that Malvesti. Jump over to that Army Combat Fitness Test. Next time you'll hear from me and see me is at Selby Cactus. Have a great one.